Now, to say that Clash of Champions wasn't the worst pay-per-view is not that bad. I mean, the show was the biggest meh of the year. I mean, I did disagree with somebody, and it's in their opinion. It's their opinion, so I'm not going to be like controlling whatever anybody says. I thought most of the matches were so meh. Like the ambulance match was meh. It had a like Randy Orton getting what's coming with him with everybody he punt kicked in the face. I mean, in the head out of Ric Flair, Christian, Big Show. Obviously not Edge because I think he's still suffering from an ankle injury, but you could have just had him like do one spear. And the main event, that was a shocker. I liked the storytelling compelling over Roman Reigns' dominance and him feeling like he needs to be like admired and noticed as the head of the. I thought it was phenomenal work. It would have been better if they had though a finish though, like Roman Reigns, how hard Jey Uso's fighting. They could have just had it like end off a spear, and they thought they did, but it did end with Roman Reigns still coming up on top, being notified as a tribal chief. Jimmy Uso, even though he's suffering from an injury, came up and still protected his brother over Roman Reigns, like really going off on him, and I thought it was like phenomenal work to tell how Roman Reigns really is being world champion. And it was just so much show of overwhelming dominance and Roman Reigns just feeling like he should be like being noticed as I just thought it was phenomenal. I did was a bit conflicted over the ending, but and that's just me. Like every match should have a finish, especially at the main event, unless you're trying to make a major story. And now we're like consulting over the brand split that I already had complaints over. There should not be a brand split anymore. There's not enough like big enough of a roster, or at least that compelling of star power. Because the only women that are consistent with with like potential to be top stars is technically Charlotte, Asuka, a bit of Slita if they know what to do with her, Peyton Royce, Liv Morgan if it wasn't for her going back to the Riot Squad. But all it is potential. There's like no like major appeal like for casual viewers other than probably people knowing about Charlotte because she's the daughter of Ric Flair and people know Ric Flair. And there's not that much home like household name value other than Brock Lesnar. Now he's gone. So I'm a bit conflicted. We had the women's tag team title match canceled, and the the SmackDown Women's Championship match canceled over Nikki Cross and over some controversy over I think COVID or something. I don't care. I didn't want to see the match to begin with. The triple threat ladder match was the most entertaining part of the show, in my opinion. That was a banger. Having the handcuff ending, that was clever as hell. Good selling over the ladders. Jeff Hardy was like acting like his old self. I love that when he's going crazy, selling spots, doing that thing he did to Edge over the bottom half of the ladders. It was a crazy spot. Chucking the ladder, the small ladder, finally using that important other than pretending to climb it. The match was just phenomenal. Really fun ending. Even though I hate Sami Zayn, AJ, Jeff, Sammy gave it their all, and it was a really entertaining match opener and it got me hyped up. Then we had Zelina Vega versus Asuka, that I thought was a pretty okay match, even though I felt like they overshot their chances with Zelina Vega, because I understand like she probably has some good respect backstage, and obviously she has the desire to be a singles competitor over her managerial ability. But I just thought they shot it up way too quick, and they already had like Peyton Royce being a major favorite, and then they just had her beat Mickey James clean on Raw. She was benefactoring over trying to release over the ankle lock. There was some good submission selling some good counters over, trying to remove the pin over the Oscar lock, and it's like, what the hell? So what happened in that Mickey James match, ref? And it ended off the Oscar lock not playing up to their favor after she failed to get a roll up reversal right, and then it costed her. Decent match. Really nice to see Zelina Vega actually being shown as legitimate, but there's no way she's winning the title, especially when she barely had in-ring matches unless it involved male storylines. So, yeah, this is a bit off-putting, but it was a good match on Zelina Vega's part, but I think she should stay away from the title scene until she's, like, more established as a singles competitor. That's just my opinion on the matter. No, we had Lashley versus Apollo. Yay. Listen, bro, I have nothing against Apollo personally. It's just, if you don't have charisma and you don't have, like, at least some semblance of telling a story other than your big black dude doing backflips, then I don't care. Of course Lashley won this one with a damn full Nelson. There was some counters. He come around beating MVP and Benjamin. A drop kick, a spin out powerbomb. It's just nearly the exact same match they had a Payback. Except this time Lashley had to retain the belt. That was practically it. Other than that, I wouldn't have cared less. That's practically my opinion on the matter. I wasn't that concerned about the U.S. title match. By the way, if anybody wants to be updated on the SmackDown Tag Team title match, that went up to the pre-show. Shinsuke and Cesaro won. I'm not going much into it. I don't care. They've been beating the jobbers every week. So what's the point of pitting this on pay-per-view and pinning them a title shot? The New Day are out of commission. You guys are too much at SJWs to let the Forgotten Sons get a push, even though how like booked they were to be like major favorites for the tag titles. And the last time they did, it was Money in the Bank, June of this year. Come on, man. The Raw tag title match was like weak. It was the same match, some drop kicks, cut offs over Dawkins getting the hot tag, reverse elbow for a near fall. It ends off miscommunication and then the frog splash. So nearly the exact same finish they've had over they've probably wrestled each other like 4 or 5 times already in the middle of the summer to the fall. So the point of them retaining makes no sense, especially if you were going to get away from the fact that Zelina Vega was holding it back. So it was just there. They were just having a match. Garza was also injured over a botched finish due to the miscommunication over the referee ending. That's not much I can give you. I kind of feel bad because Garza is more interesting than Andrade. More compelling of a wrestler. He actually has a character, and it's tough, man. I don't like hearing about wrestlers getting injured in the ring, but it happens most of the time. So I have nothing else to talk about. We also had the the SmackDown Women's Title match. Well, via forfeit, Bayley doesn't have to defend her title until she issued a dumb open challenge to just waste our times. And it ended up with Asuka coming out. It could have been Lacey Evans or Alexa. Sasha did attack Bayley with a chair after her match with Asuka. Asuka wanted to. They ended off a steel cage after these women were literally were wasting time outside the ring. So the point of this was Bayley to consult some sort of heat, ending in a DQ, and then it ends up with Sasha coming back with a steel chair assaulting her. So we know this is probably going to be built up for Hell in a Cell. Another thing that's not going to end is Drew McIntyre against Randy Orton. People have been somewhat liking this match, even though they were primarily fighting backstage. McIntyre did toss Orton's head on the front of the driver's window. Then a Claymore kick missed and broke the door. And this is all for the smash the Slambulance playset. I don't know what the hell they called it. Some dumbass toy they made to sell the pay-per-view match. It's They fought outside. As soon as Orton was planning to, this also in the beginning of the match, he planned on doing a punt. Big Show came out of nowhere, shaving. For God's sakes, Big Show, keep a fucking beard. Keep facial hair. Jesus. He comes around looking like that pig dude in the Batman series. And he comes around, and then Michaels came. Shut sweet chin music outside. On top of the ambulance, we had a backstage brawl with the little starlight curtain that WCW 2000 had, and it's like, Jesus Christ, this is so bad. I hate the stage. I hate the stage. But this is what they have to deal with until they're out of the pandemic. WWE. He comes around doing just assaulting Orton, and everything was just going over to his favor. And then a Claymore kick inside the ambulance truck. A punt kick as well from McIntyre. Close the door. Ric Flair drives off. No Edge, even like sitting around and watching Orton fail to become WWE champion again. And they're probably gonna like continue this feud until probably Hell in a Cell because it's personal, and I'll go to it in my Raw review anyway. I don't really care. And McIntyre ends up on top. Yay! Next up, we have Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns holding that like that belt's freaking important. It so pisses me off because the belt has been nothing but injury-prone stars and giving it to part-timers or relevant in general. So, yeah, it's literally the worst world title probably in history. And that's saying a lot. The Ring of King World's Championship is more prestigious than the Universal Championship. And that's the same thing that's been held by Lesnar and Lashley. I mean, not Lashley, I mean Goldberg. You thought I was going to say, like, what, Owens? Finn Balor? Nothing about that smells prestigious. So, Roman, that's off his second reign with the Universal Championship, faces off against Jey Uso over family Roman Reigns heel persona, and it felt so brutal. Over counters, we had also a low blow after a Uso splash, nearly gets the 3 count, and he kicked out and literally smashed his balls. That was literally what got me to laugh. Counter off a Superman punch, and you see Roman Reigns consulting with Jey Uso, telling him this is the ass whooping that you're gonna get. They go over the vignette, and it just felt so personal. I don't feel like, in my opinion, that this should be spread over shows over the amount of disrespect and embarrassment Jey Uso got over his cousin, and it just they're already trying to trademark the name Tribal Chief, so I don't even like the name Big Dog anymore. It was good. He looked in good shape, real good shape. The last time I saw him take off his vest was probably Mania, and it's a decent look. But he just looks like a guy from WCW 2000 to me, just wearing some black pants and wrestling shirtless. Or he would be wearing a t-shirt. Some super kicks. Uso be trying to fight for his life, but I keep getting off the spear. And then he keeps asking him to acknowledge him while he's beating his ass as the chief, the head, the top guy in the family. He keeps saying no and keep refusing. And keeps beating the ever-living piss out of Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso even tried to threw in the towel, trying to stop his cousin from beating the shit out of his brother, and it just felt so brutal. And they just showed how much Roman Reigns really wants to be the top guy, wants to be top even in his own family, and I just liked it. I just loved it, and it's something I miss. Actual compelling, emotional storylines, and yeah, this is something that I miss. Shit, I haven't seen stuff like this in years. So this is good. A good main event with a compelling ending. A good match opener. The Raw Women's title match was not a bad showing, especially for Zelina Vega, a woman that barely wrestles. And the That's particularly it. Now I would give it like a 5. That's not particular. I don't think I'll remember this so fondly other than the opening match and the main event. People be trying to give this like a 6 or 7. It's like you calm down. Like all because you think too good positive, it doesn't make it a good show. It makes it average. And hopefully we get above average like in the future because I'm sick of like giving negatives to pay-per-views. But this wasn't that bad of a show, other than a couple hiccups because of some personal issues. But other than that, I like the main event, and that's a rarity that I say in most WWE shows. And I'm actually compelled to watch SmackDown more than Raw, and that says a lot. But if you like the review and if you like the pay-per-view, comment down below and tell me how you feel about Clash of Champions 2020. We have Hell in a Cell to get ready for in nearly the end of 2020, so that's probably what I'm going to be celebrating more than my birthday at this point. So that's it coming from me.